New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani pointed out today that the white families in New York City simply make too much money compared to the black families. He said that a white family makes over $200,000 a year and a black family makes less than $20,000 a year, and he vows to fix the inequities in his city. He also says he wants to reckon with racism. Although Zohran failed to mention what the Asian families make, what the Hispanic family makes, what a Russian family makes, he only pointed out what a white person makes. We need to take from the white family and give to the black family. However, this is not racist. Many black people live in subsidized housing in New York City. If they make too much money, they will be kicked out of their subsidized housing. So they want to make a certain amount so they continue to live in their subsidized housing. If we're talking about how much people make on their race, why don't we look into the NBA team there in New York City? How much do the black players make versus the white players? And how many more black players are on the team than white players? Maybe he should look into that. And maybe throw a little bit of Asian basketball players on the NBA team. Zohran Mamdani, what he said today is pretty darn racist, if you ask me.
All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this one. Here go Scamdani once again, telling lies, and this man literally just backed off one of the promises that he made. Or it's gonna be free buses. All y'all gotta do, all of y'all New Yorkers gotta do is just elect me. You're gonna get free buses. And now this man just pretty much said that I can't give y'all no free buses. He pretty much just admitted that he scammed New York City. He scammed every voter that voted for him, that was sitting there talking about, on vote for Scamdani, it's gonna be free buses, government run grocery stores, is my rent gonna be, or they gonna freeze my rent. This is what people were saying that was voting for Scamdani, because he made all these promises. And like I said, running on affordability, but then turned around and start taxing the same very people that voted for him. Supposed to be taxing the rich, but saying I'm gonna have to raise, property taxes up by 9.5% on the same people that voted for him. And it don't stop there. Now you got New York City residents is calling for him to be removed right now. But that's y'all fault. Y'all let me know in the comment section, do y'all feel sorry for New Yorkers? Y'all, I mean, they voted for him. Y'all let me know, do y'all feel sorry for New Yorkers? And not only that, and now New York City residents is now fuming over Zohran Scamdani banning the public from Times Square America birthday celebration. Oh my God. It just continues to get worse. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support, and shout out to the one that always watches the entire video. I appreciate all of you, but we definitely got to dive straight into this. So if y'all can see right here, it says Zohran Scamdani backs down on cornerstone campaign promise of free New York City buses. Look at this. Zohran Scamdani backs down on cornerstone campaign promises of free New York City bus. And you see it was published April 8th. It was 2 days ago when he said this. And before we get into it, I want y'all to remember that he did this the other day as well. Democrat New York City Mayor Zohran Scamdani is launching a racial equity plan designed to solve decades of discrimination by prioritizing resources from black and brown people, straight up racism against white people. And he's been against white people for the longest, talking about he's want to tax whiter neighborhoods. We remember all of that. And he just, constantly showing his hate for white people.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly. So often, it is black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest. This preliminary racial equity plan is the first step in developing a whole of government approach to tackling that reality. It is a plan that lays out these first steps to solve decades of neglect and discrimination. And it places the work of 45 city agencies within a singular framework.
So that's what he's doing. Instead of him running on his campaign promises, this is what he's doing right here. Still trying to find a way to tear down white people. That's what he's doing. So let's get straight into this one right here. Say, this is New York City, the economic capital of the world, and he's trying to kill it. And you got Vicky for NYC stress Zohran Scamdani first 100 days as NYC mayor. Let's check this out, y'all.
Today marks day 100 of Zoe. who made quite a few big promises on the campaign
a
trail.
lot of them.
We will deliver universal child care for the many by taxing the wealthiest few.
I'm going to work to speak to every single New Yorker to ensure they know a city they can afford is on the ballot.
I'll freeze the rent for millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal child care.
Now, y'all see that? I'm going to freeze the rent. I'm going to make buses free. So those type of talks is what made people vote for him. And I was warning everybody. I'm like, it ain't going to be no free buses. It ain't going to be no freezing the rent. Somebody got to pay. That bus break, that somebody got to pay. And this is where he ran on, and he ain't did one of them. But they want to talk about President Trump all the time. But this man ain't did one. He ain't achieved one of his campaign promises.
The wealthiest few.
I'm going to work to speak to every single New Yorker to ensure they know a city they can afford is on the ballot.
I'll freeze the rent for millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal child care. And before you ask, I'll pay for it by taxing the rich.
Well, this neophyte socialist mayor is finding out, because he hasn't really run anything, that actually governing is much harder than it.
Look at this, y'all. Mamdani's failed campaign promises. City-owned grocery stores, he didn't do. Department of Community Safety, he didn't do. Homeless encampments, he didn't do. NYPD gang database, housing vouchers, class size law, free buses, none of it. None of it.
Campaigning on a bunch of freebies. Joining us now on set is Councilwoman Vicky.
Oh, man.
Well, Vicky, what's the first 100 days been like for you? Easy?
No, not at all. It's been, we're talking about a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
This has been a minute-to-minute news cycle. This guy hasn't stopped pushing the agenda that was exactly what we had expected. He's lived up to all of his radical left-wing promises as far as what he wants to do. It's only 100 days, but he's done quite a bit. I mean, he's talking about driving out the middle class with his property taxes, his wealth taxes, any kind of tax you can think of. If you're walking and talking and breathing, you're going to get taxed too. There's been violence. He refuses to recognize. When we had that bombing outside of City Hall or Gracie Mansion, it took him 48 hours to recognize those people as radical Islamists. We have a problem with that. We have a problem with just about everything that comes out of his mouth. Look at his cabinet. Look at who he surrounded himself with. These are all radicals. These are all, he hates the cops. That hasn't changed. We're going to watch him progress, and he's digging himself into a hole. But what's interesting here is that he is going to find himself belly up because the people are no longer falling for this. He's governing on an ideology. He's not governing on realistic things. This is not a guy that's looking at anything in a realistic manner. This is New York City, the economic capital of the world, and he's trying to kill it.
Shit, trying. He gonna kill it. I get what she's saying. He's trying. He's going to kill it. This man, so really all the stuff he promised he didn't do. So now what he's doing now is everything that he wanted to do. See, what he wanted to do, he didn't run on because he knew New Yorkers wasn't going to fall for it. So he had to tell lies and say, I'm going to give y'all free buses. I'm going to freeze your rent. It's going to be government-run grocery stores. I'm going to tax the rich. And, that's how we going to pay for these free buses. All that, it sounds good. It sounds good. But it wasn't going to happen. Was the reason why I made countless videos warning people, warning New Yorkers not to vote for him. And now they want him gone. Now they want him gone. Let's even get to this right here, and we still going to talk about them free buses. Breaking, NYC socialist mayor Zoran Mamdani is catching massive backlash after signing an emergency order that shuts down free celebrations of America's 250th anniversary in Times Square. Oh, man.
Here in Times Square, a ball drop is planned to celebrate America's 250th birthday. But thanks to Mayor Mamdani's emergency order denying permits during the World Cup, the public isn't invited to attend.
Say what?
So our famous communist won't allow people to come up and see and celebrate 250th years for the U.S.? He needs to go.
Is this America? Is this really New York? Where we at?
I think that's really sad.
Yeah, I think that's very silly.
Oh. Jane, you'd imagine it should be allowed.
It's something we're celebrating, right? So it's supposed to be open for people to come in.
New Year's Eve, everybody's out here allowed to be here, so why can't it be that then?
We have to, live our lives. Can't be afraid.
I should probably articulate that I'm a Canadian. That would never happen in Canada. The public should be allowed to go.
I think that should be something that everybody should be included on. I mean, that's a big milestone in our nation's history. Kind of frustrating because I was kind of excited to come down here for that. But, you know, I'm not buying a ticket.
It's ridiculous. Absurd. Get out of here.
Get out of here. I agree.
Boy.
You know, everybody's...
So now y'all see how mad people is. Then you see right here, breaking, New York City voters are furious and demanding the removal of Zoran Scamdani after he issued an emergency order blocking New Yorkers from celebrating America's upcoming 250th anniversary in Times Square while still allowing protesters and agitators to operate freely. Boy. And you see how furious people are.
Here in Times Square.
Don't even want the public to show up. How about that? No exceptions, including Scamdani. I mean, this is crazy. Even Nick Sorta posted. He said, laughing my you-know-what off. Zoran Mamdani admits that he scammed his voters and buses won't actually be free. And now his busing plan has been delayed for at least another year. New Yorkers got duped. Communism doesn't work and it'll never work. Hopefully a lesson has been learned here. And let's check out what Fox News had to say about it.
And next year begins a new era of fast and free buses. Make the slowest buses in the country fast and free. Making buses free.
Mayor Mamdani now says free buses won't happen for this year at least. Told Politico, quote, I'm absolutely committed to making buses fast and free, and we're encouraged by the conversations we're having with the governor and legislative leaders to take action on that 2026 as a first step. Jesse, you hate to see it. No free buses.
Yeah, so I asked AI who's done this before, and the only city in the country that's done this is Kansas City. And Kansas City did it in 2020, and they just reinstated fares. Why? Because they lost so much money and because of passenger behavior. Now, what does passenger behavior mean to you? I think we know. And so what happened was it became such an issue because people would ride the bus without a destination. What does that mean to you? It became a homeless shelter on wheels. That's what's going to happen in New York City. I do like his pothole politics. The man, in the first 100 days, Dana, filled 100,000 potholes in New York City. That's the kind of mayor I want. A mayor who fills holes.
Do you want to take that one, Greg?
I know what he's trying to do.
Ridiculous.
He's trying to get a visit to the boss later after the show, and I'm not going to fall for it. This is going to be confusing to Zoran's backers. They were told they get free buses. How hard is that? Just make them free. People can get on them. You don't have to pay for it. What's the problem? But then he has to explain to them, because they're stupid, that, you know, it's not really free. Other people pay for it, like your neighbors, your boss, your landlord. Pretty soon they're going to leave, and then you're really screwed. You'll not only be walking to work, you won't be walking to work because you won't have a job. I think Zoran is harmful to civil society because he looks at whites and Asians who already pay a vast, disproportionate sum of taxes relative to the percentage of the population, which all goes to these corrupted social programs. And he's saying they aren't paying their fair share. They need to pay more. Again, if you thought woke was dead, if you thought DEI is dead, it just changed its name and it transitioned. It's on steroids. You're paying for its new tits. Zoran wants to raise taxes on whites to fund a racial equity plan. This is to increase the burden on richer and whiter neighborhoods to address inequities elsewhere. Again, how is that fair? You're taxing the people already paying far more than their fair share. Why is he doing this? And this is what we have to focus on. We have to stop the fallacy of historical harms. The idea that like affordability is linked to systemic racial inequality of the past. Sorry, I lived in California. I moved to New York 20 years ago. Not my problem, not my fault. I pay more money in taxes than you don't even want to know. This idea, this inequity plan is basically mugging the citizen without a knife.
It was also about climate change because they want people to get out of their cars and onto the bus.
Well, if you can't afford the $3 bus fare, you probably can't afford a car.
So you heard what Fox News had to say about it. And like I said, it just continued to get worse. This is how free buses will look, y'all. Y'all see this right here? If Mayor Mamdani succeeds at making buses free in New York City, then they'll be even worse than these pay trains are in Mumbai. Look at this. This is what you call a free bus. Look at this. This is what happens when stuff is free. People just get on there without paying. This is what's going to happen, and this is how New York is going to look. And they said it's going to turn into like I said, homeless people sitting on the bus because they ain't got to pay, so they'll just stay on there and just ride everywhere. They won't even have a destination. They just get on there just to ride. Look at that. Look at that. People even hanging out there because there's so many people. Look at all them people, man. That is crazy. That is crazy. My God. So let's get to this right here. You know, that they was even talking about it, you know, him promising these free buses, but now they're saying it's not going to happen.
Socialist dreams are meeting fiscal reality in New York because it turns out even something free, someone has to pay for it. Mayor Mamdani walking back on one of his main campaign promises, free buses. Well, not including that full plan in the city's budget proposal. Instead, his administration is pivoting to a much smaller, limited pilot program, but state lawmakers still skeptical about that idea. The blasphemy, Caroline. How dare he promise me free buses and we don't get it? Is there an uproar from everyone who assumed that free buses were coming? Or is this a good thing that he's meeting fiscal reality? Is it bad for socialism because then people realize that the campaign promises weren't true? How do you read that?
Or that he doesn't know math.
Yeah.
That too.
As Gen Z says, the math was never mathing. It
Nope.
did not add up. And I think there is some buyer's remorse from his base because they thought because I think they were, and the data does suggest that they're not totally thrilled with his performance so far. He's under-delivering on his economic promises. They support his idea to raise taxes on the wealthiest individuals, but the problem is Albany needs to consent to that, and the state legislature is probably not gonna because Kathy Hochul doesn't want her tax base running away. What they reject is the only idea that he does have at his disposal, which is to raise property taxes, because they know on everyone, because that's what happens. If you want to forward your massive grab bag, Mamdani, you're going to have to punitively treat everyone, and everyone is not thrilled with that.
Y'all heard what she had to say. So like I said, man, it just done got out of hand. It done got out of hand. So they weren't talking about Mayor Mamdani talks his first 100 days in office. I wonder what Scam Dunny is going to say, y'all, because his approval rating ain't good, and we're going to see if he's going to make up any excuses and stuff. Let's go.
Hi, Mayor. Thanks for taking a moment with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So our new exclusive polling, just a day shy of your 100-day mark, shows that New Yorkers generally approve of you, but are also very concerned about the city's economy. 59% of New Yorkers say the city's actually headed down the wrong track in our polling. What do you have to say to those New Yorkers concerned about their jobs and well-beings right now?
That we are looking to make this city true for two things. One, the continued economic generator for this country, and one where working people can actually feel the benefits of that economic growth. We're proud of the fact that we're seeing the highest demand for office space in Manhattan in more than a decade. We're seeing the most amount of venture capital raised since Q1 of 2021, that we're seeing the highest number of Wall Street bonuses in recorded history. And we also are not going to rest on our laurels. When we look at the highest percentage of workforce participation, that's still something that we want to improve until every single person in this city who wants a job can get a job. Because we know that it's both a place of incredible wealth and a place where 1 in 4 New Yorkers are still living in poverty.
Our polling also showed that the idea of a property tax increase, which I know you've said is a last resort if you don't get different tax increases from Albany and need to balance a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit, extremely unpopular. So the people don't like it. You've even said you don't like it. The council doesn't like it. At this point, are you willing to take a property tax increase off the table?
I'm encouraged by the conversations that we're having with our partners in Albany. I said on February 17th when we put forward our preliminary plan that we would spend every single day after that looking to avoid that decision and instead building a pathway to increasing revenue by taxing the wealthiest New Yorkers, the most profitable corporations, and by having a fair relationship between Albany and the city. I'm encouraged by where we've come in the last few months. The state budget will be a few more weeks, I would think, but we're encouraged by where it's headed.
But you're not willing to take property taxes off the table full stop until you see what Albany does?
We have to finalize that state budget.
Look at it. He don't want to do it. Think about it. Y'all know for a fact if this man said he was going to raise property taxes on New York, y'all think they would have voted for him? No. They wouldn't have voted for him. So now that he's in and they already voted for him, it's like, shit, what can New Yorkers do now? Now he's still saying he's not going to take it off the table. Think about it, raising property tax up about 9.5% on the very same people that voted to get you in there. That is diabolical. That is crazy.
It has an immense impact on the city budget, but we are encouraged where it's headed.
On those tax proposals you've mentioned that I've mentioned already, your millionaire's tax idea, broadly popular, the corporate tax idea, a little bit more of a mixed reaction, but still generally supportive. Are you really pursuing that millionaire's tax avenue, knowing that you have the broad-based support as maybe, the best opportunity to get a tax increase?
I think we've made it clear time and again that when we're facing the kind of generational fiscal deficit that we are at this point, $5.4 billion, that we need to ensure we're not balancing the budget on the backs on working class and middle class New Yorkers, but that we're asking those with the most to pay a little bit more. And we see that New Yorkers broadly do support that approach, and now it's for the end of the budget process.
Zooming out a little bit from my last couple questions, your first 100 days, anything you think you could have done better?
I think that every day is an opportunity, frankly, to learn and then to deliver. I'll give you one example where after the first storm, we realized that the city had never geotagged the location.
Oh, after the first storm, when he was requiring people to provide 4 forms of ID to shovel snow. Ain't that something? The scam done. They wanted New Yorkers to show ID to shovel snow, but they don't need to show ID to go vote. They don't need to show ID to vote, but they need ID to shovel snow. Got it. Just crazy.
Locations of all of its bus stops and crosswalks, that we had historically relied on private property owners to provide a lot of the cleaning of these areas, and that it was time for the city to have an active, up-to-date set of data points on all of these things. That became a critical part of our response to the first blizzard in over a decade, and that's how we're going to keep delivering for the city.
What does the next 100 days look like? Do some of the economic numbers happening, some of that conversation we had a couple of minutes ago, does that inform what your next 100 days need to look like?
The next 100 days will include the city welcoming the World Cup, and in that, a multi-billion-dollar economic opportunity, and we want to use that as an opportunity to reintroduce our city to the world. What we've been doing over the last 3 or so months is looking to make the best possible conditions for businesses across this city. That includes the...
You was just talking about taking people businesses. Y'all remember when I showed y'all the video, he was talking about taking people businesses and stuff like that? All he do is lie, bro. And New Yorkers, y'all fell for this, man. Oh, my God. Oh.
Lowest recorded number of murders in our city's history, the joint lowest recorded number of shootings in our city's history, major crime being down across the board. All of this to make clear that this is going to be the best place for a business, not just to start, but to keep its doors open.
Any free buses going to be running during the World Cup? I know you recently told another media outlet that free buses probably not going to happen this year.
What I told that media outlet is that we're encouraged by the fact that both the State Assembly and the State Senate have language in their one-house budget proposals in support of making buses free, and we look forward to where this budget process ends.
Mayor, thank you for your time.
Here you go, y'all. Y'all see that fake smile? Here you go. He put on that fake smile, and that's what he do. And just straight lie to people. He put that smile on and just straight tell you number lies. But obviously you see his own voter base is telling, saying he need to be gone. But this is what y'all voted for. I'm going to ask y'all again. Do y'all feel sorry for New Yorkers? They voted for this. We tried to warn you. President Trump tried to warn y'all. Y'all didn't listen. Y'all heard the word free. And when you got to look in your mind, be like, man, ain't none of this word free. Think gonna be free buses. Somebody got to fix it. Somebody got to put oil in it. Somebody got to change the tires. All that stuff costs money. Freezing the rent? What? Well, who gonna let you stay in their house for free? Who? I don't know, man. Like I said, y'all get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this. I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. Once again, thank y'all all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.